Hey everyone, welcome back to another reading from the Living Clean book. We're carrying on to talking about family. For those of you who don't know me, my name is John Clayton. I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic, and I've been clean and sober since February 21st, 2021. And welcome back. Or if you're new, welcome, period. Family. March 15th today. Our relationships with our families can present some of our biggest challenges. There is never only the set of feelings about our family members. There are times when we see our childhood only through rose-colored glasses, and other times when we forget that there was any joy or value there at all. The list of real and imagined hurts on both sides can be hard to get past. Whether or not they are still in our lives, our relationship to our family is a critical matter for most of us. If we have an ongoing relationship with our families, we may not be able to wait until we get to the ninth step to handle all of the difficulties in those relationships. Whether or not we ever make formal amends to our families, we deal with the consequences of our actions and the consequences of our recovery every time we see them. Amends means change, and our relationships with our families do change in recovery. Some of us choose to put some new distance in there. One member recalled that he had to move away for a while. They were nice people, but I had to find out who I was, and I couldn't do that inside my family. Another member found that amends meant not tolerating abuse anymore, and felt she finally had permission to step away from a destructive household. Excuse me. On the other hand, as we recover, many of us desire much closer relationships with our families than we had before. We enjoy our family and the ability to be present and participate as a healthy, responsible member of the family. Is its own reward. What we learn about membership in NA can apply to our families as well. When we show up with an open mind and a willingness to be of service, the rewards can be far greater than our efforts. Sometimes those are the direct rewards of finding loving and productive relationships with the people we care for. Even when the rewards are not so direct, we can see them over time. Amending our behavior is something we do not get a response from others, but to change our own relationships to ourselves, our higher power, and the world around us. Excuse me. As we learn to show up without anger, resentment, or fear, we develop an emotional maturity that we might not have expected. It is a challenge to let go of old ways of being with our families, especially when those ways operated to our advantages. Sometimes NA service gives us a window on our patterns at home. We may see ourselves playing the same roles as elsewhere in our lives. We are acting as the victim or rescuer, the mediator or instigator. Sometimes it's positive and sometimes it's not. But the ability to see these patterns in one area of our lives allows us to change our behavior in all our affairs. Excuse me. When people are used to rescuing us or taking responsibility for us, it can seem simplest just to let them continue. As we take our own inventory, we can see the price we pay for not taking responsibility for ourselves in our relationships, our careers, and most of all in our spirits. Slipping the knots on our dependencies on others can be done without needless harshness. We are grateful for the people who try to help us. Whether or not we accept their aid, we try to keep in mind the wisdom of the seventh tradition. Everything has its price, regardless of intent. We do our best to accept help when we need it, and to pull our weight, to pull our own weight when we can. There is great freedom in taking responsibility for ourselves. We are able to look ourselves in the eye and be clearer about our motives. After many years of recovery, a member found herself in the position of caring for their parents, with whom she had a hard time as she was growing up. Recently, it has become clear how human and fragile they are. She said, "My feelings get hurt when my dad doesn't know who I am anymore. But in the larger picture, it doesn't matter because I remember who he is." Some of our hardest moments contain the keys to healing deep and painful scars. So often in recovery, the rewards come when we are not looking for anything but the next right thing to do. We may be surprised to learn how many different ways people work through these things. Even if we seek professional help to address our childhood and family relationships, our recovery in NA does not need to be placed on hold. On the contrary, the basics of our program support us as we struggle with powerful feelings and memories. As other members share their love and compassion, we learn once more that we are not as alone as we feel. When we take an honest look at our lives, we can see good and bad even in the most complicated families. The process of recovery offers us the freedom to choose what we want to bring forward from our past and what we want to leave behind. It's not always as easy to do as to say, but the ability to make the decision greatly increases the likelihood of being able to carry it out. Our old-timers sometimes remind us, if you don't know what you want, you're not likely to get it. Many patterns for relationships that have stayed with us through our lives were established early. We weren't born with all this damage, but we live with the events of our past, and some of them are traumatic. Abuse takes many forms, and not all of our history is easy to name. No matter which side of the equation we were on, the memories haunt us. Our history leaves us with issues that comes up again and again. Shame, fear, a belief that we need to justify our existence, and a sense of alienation from ourselves, our bodies, and other people. In our relationships, this shows up as a feeling of failure before we even begin. It seems impossible for us to have a healthy, loving relationship, so the first sign of friction, our attention seems to prove our worst suspicions. We escalate or walk away before our fears have a chance to come true or be disproven. Coming to terms with our experience happens over time. It layers. There are issues we must address immediately if we are to face life clean, and issues that we must develop a foundation in recovery in order to be able to face. The baggage that has traveled with us the longest is the stuff most likely to bring feelings of hopelessness. There are times we may be very frustrated to find ourselves facing the same issues that we had dealt with years before, but we find increasing freedom as we continue to chip away at them. When we are in a grip of old patterns, we must remember our bottom line. Don't use no matter what. There can be a long time between the work we do on a particular issue and our awareness that change has taken place. For those of us with long-standing patterns of painful relationships, it can be surprising to notice the number of long relationships we have in the fellowship. Love sneaks up on us. The very fact of that love and its very undeniable presence in our lives does its own quiet work, healing the wounds that nothing else seems to reach. Yeah, that's a good reading too. They've all been good readings today. You know, that's one of the hardest things, I suppose, that I'm dealing with, right now, is the fact that, even though I'm lonely, I'm not alone, but for most of my life being by myself, I couldn't handle being in my own skin. Today, I don't necessarily like being isolated, but I definitely have a greater respect for for being by myself. I guess I don't want to use the word isolated with as that as well, because then it sounds like I'm contradicting myself. But there's a big difference between being isolated and being in isolation. Because I'm not in isolation because I do socialize with some of my neighbors, but I am isolated to the fact that I live alone. It's just me and my cat, and the only person I have to keep me accountable is me. And and family, yeah, wow, what a good reading that was. That's another thing that's hard for me today, is because when I was in my active addiction, I did my fair share of damage, to my relationships with my family, and well, I don't want to say friends, because the only friends I had were also in active addiction. So truly, they weren't really friends, because they were only around me because of the drugs. But when I did finally manage to get clean and sober, and finally come to the realization that I either need to change my life around or die, and I don't want to die. I also don't want to be on my deathbed, being all, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but if the question ever came up, what did they do with the rest of your life? I don't want to turn around and say nothing, or absolutely nothing. I want to have purpose. I want to be a part of something bigger than myself. I want to be remembered for who I was able to help, not everyone I ever hurt. And, and so I don't get an opportunity to, my family doesn't get to see how much I've changed, and the person that I'm becoming. And I wish that, especially my mother, I wish she could see that. But anyway, on that note, I appreciate every one of you. If nobody's told you today that they love you, well, I love you, and I hope to see you all again real soon, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye for now.